Spider-Man is one of the most iconic superheroes in all of comics, but he's not the only one who deserves the spotlight. With his amazing rogues gallery and supporting cast, Spider-Man has always been about more than just Peter Parker. Over the years, we've seen many stories focus on his friends, foes, and even alternate reality versions of the character. In today's video, we're going to take a look at 10 of the best Spider-Man comics that don't feature Peter Parker as the lead character. From Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen to Jessica Drew and Ben Reilly, these comics offer a fresh and exciting perspective on the Spider-Verse. Whether you're a longtime fan of Spider-Man or you're new to the character, these comics are sure to please. So sit back, relax, and let's explore the best of Spider-Man without Peter Parker. 10. The superior foes of Spider-Man turned a B-list villain into a fan favorite. Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber's The Superior Foes of Spider-Man is one of the most unique and refreshing superhero comics in recent memory. The series follows Boomerang, a B-list Spider-Man villain, as he tries to put together a new Sinister Six. However, Boomerang's team is made up of other B-list villains, such as Beetle, Shocker, Speed Demon, and Overdrive. As a result, their plans are often thwarted by their own incompetence and infighting. Despite their failures, the characters in The Superior Foes of Spider-Man are incredibly likable. Spencer and Lieber do a great job of developing their backstories and motivations, and they make them feel like real people with real problems. Boomerang, in particular, is a complex and sympathetic character. He's a criminal, but he's also a family man who is trying to do what's best for his loved ones. The series is also incredibly funny. Spencer and Lieber have a knack for writing witty dialogue and slapstick humor. The result is a series that is both entertaining and thought-provoking. One of the things that makes The Superior Foes of Spider-Man so special is the fact that it's a story about villains. We don't often get to see the world from the perspective of the bad guys, but Spencer and Lieber do a great job of showing us what it's like to be a villain. They show us that villains are just as complex and human as superheroes. The success of The Superior Foes of Spider-Man is a testament to the power of storytelling. Spencer and Lieber took a B-list villain and transformed him into a fan favorite. They showed that even the most obscure characters can be interesting and compelling if they are written well. 9. Flowers for Rhino turned Spider-Man's longtime villain into a genius. Peter Milligan and Duncan Fegredo's Flowers for Rhino is a truly unique and groundbreaking Spider-Man story. The issue takes the spotlight off of Peter Parker and focuses on one of his most iconic villains, Rhino. Prior to Flowers for Rhino, Rhino was a one-dimensional villain who was mostly used as a musclehead for other villains. However, in Milligan and Fegredo's story, Rhino undergoes experimental surgery that transforms him into a genius. At first, Rhino is thrilled by his newfound intelligence. He is able to read books, understand complex concepts, and even outsmart Spider-Man. However, Rhino soon realizes that intelligence is not all it's cracked up to be. With his newfound intelligence, Rhino also becomes aware of the suffering in the world. He sees the poverty, the injustice, and the violence. He becomes disillusioned with humanity and begins to question the meaning of life. Rhino's newfound intelligence also leads him to develop a romantic subplot with a woman named Oksana. Oksana is also a genius, and she is attracted to Rhino's intelligence and sensitivity. However, Rhino's relationship with Oksana is ultimately doomed. Rhino's intelligence begins to wane, and he eventually reverts back to his original state. Flowers for Rhino is a complex and moving story that explores the themes of intelligence, suffering, and love. It is a story that shows that even the most hardened villains can be redeemed. 8. The Superior Spider-Man, Volume 1, changed everything. For Doc Ock, Dan Slott's The Superior Spider-Man, Volume 1, is a bold and innovative comic book series that changed the way we think about Dr. Octopus. In the series, Otto Octavius successfully implants his mind into Peter Parker's body, taking over Spider-Man's life. Octavius believes that he can be a better Spider-Man than Parker ever was, and he sets out to prove it. Octavius' arrogance and ruthlessness make him a fascinating and compelling villain. He is willing to cross any line to achieve his goals, even if it means hurting the people he loves. However, the series also shows a softer side to Octavius. He develops a close relationship with Anna Maria Marconi, Peter Parker's former colleague and love interest. He also shows surprising compassion and understanding for Norman Osborn, his longtime nemesis. In the end, Octavius is defeated and forced to return to his own body. However, his time as Spider-Man has changed him forever. He is no longer the one-dimensional villain he once was. He is now a complex and conflicted character with a newfound appreciation for life. The Superior Spider-Man, Volume 1, is a must-read for any fan of Spider-Man or Dr. Octopus. It is a series that challenges our understanding of what it means to be a hero and a villain. 7. Spider-Man, Revenge of the Green Goblin, gave Norman Osborn a chance at happiness. Roger Stern and Ron Frenz's Spider-Man, Revenge of the Green Goblin, is a unique and fascinating story that tells the tale of Norman Osborn from his own point of view. After the disastrous results of the Gathering of Five ceremony, Osborn is left broken and vulnerable. He tries to piece his life back together, but he is constantly haunted by his past. In the story, Osborn falls in love for the first time since his wife's death. However, his happiness is short-lived as his Green Goblin persona eventually takes over. The story is a fascinating glimpse into the mind of one of Spider-Man's most iconic villains. We see Osborn's struggle to overcome his darkness and his desire to be a better person. However, we also see the power of his Green Goblin persona and how it can easily corrupt him. 6. Kraven's Last Hunt became the villain's defining arc. J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck's Kraven's Last Hunt is a dark and atmospheric story that has become the definitive arc for the villain Kraven the Hunter. In the story, Kraven buries Spider-Man alive and takes on his identity. He believes that he is the true Spider-Man and that Peter Parker is a fraud. Kraven's Last Hunt is a fascinating exploration of the villain's mind. We see his motivations, his fears, and his desires. We also see his humanity, and we come to understand him on a deeper level. The story is also a powerful meditation on the nature of heroism and villainy. It challenges our notions of good and evil, and it forces us to question what it means to be a true hero. 5. Spider-Man, Hobgoblin Lives Repaired. A botched Spider-Man mystery, Roger Stern and Ron Frenz's Spider-Man, Hobgoblin Lives is a mini-series that was published in 1997. The series was intended to correct a mistake that had been made in the Spider-Man comics 10 years earlier, when Ned Leeds was revealed to be the Hobgoblin. Many fans were disappointed with the reveal of Ned Leeds as the Hobgoblin, and they felt that it was a betrayal of the character. Roger Stern, the co-creator of the Hobgoblin, agreed with the fans. He had originally intended for Roderick Kingsley to be the Hobgoblin, and he was unhappy with the way that the story had been changed. In Spider-Man: Hobgoblin Lives, Stern revealed that Roderick Kingsley had always been the true Hobgoblin. He explained that the Ned Leeds reveal had been a mistake, and he set the record straight. The series was well received by fans, and it is now considered to be the definitive Hobgoblin origin story. It is a must-read for any fan of Spider-Man or the Hobgoblin. 4. Spider-Man, Life Story, Annual Number 1 Set. J. Jonah Jameson on a Path to Redemption. Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley's Spider-Man, Life Story, Annual Number 1 is a unique and fascinating story that focuses on J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man's arch-nemesis. In this story, Jameson is incarcerated for decades due to his involvement in creating Scorpion and Spider Slayers. He shares a cell with Norman Osborn, and they attend group therapy together. Over the years, Jameson and Osborn wrestle themselves out of their unhealthy fixation on Spider-Man. Jameson begins to see Spider-Man as a hero, and he even comes to respect him. The story is a rewarding and offbeat narrative that shows us a different side of J. Jonah Jameson. We see his vulnerability, his humanity, and his capacity for redemption. 3. Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 1, turned Miles Morales into an icon. Brian Michael Bendis and David Marquez's Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 1 is a groundbreaking comic book series that introduced the world to Miles Morales, a new version of Spider-Man. Miles Morales is a young African-American and Latino teenager from Brooklyn. He is bitten by a genetically enhanced spider and gains the same powers as Peter Parker. However, Miles also has the ability to camouflage himself and generate venom blasts. Miles Morales is a complex and relatable character. He is a teenager who is still trying to figure out who he is and what he wants to do with his life. He is also a hero who is learning to use his powers to help others. The Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 1 series is a coming-of-age story that follows Miles as he learns to be a hero. It is also a story about identity, responsibility, and the power of family. The series was a critical and commercial success, and it helped to make Miles Morales one of the most popular superheroes in the world. 2. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, Volume 1, cemented. Gwen Stacy's popularity. Gwen Stacy has always been a popular Spider-Man character, but her popularity reached new heights with the release of Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, Volume 1, by Sean-Ann Maguire and Rosie Campe. The series follows Gwen Stacy, who is the Spider-Woman of Earth-65. In this universe, Gwen Stacy was bitten by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker. Gwen became a superhero, and she has been fighting crime ever since. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, Volume 1 is a coming-of-age story that follows Gwen as she learns to use her powers to help others. It is also a story about identity, responsibility, and the power of family. The series is well-written and beautifully illustrated. Maguire's writing is funny, heartwarming, and action-packed. Campe's artwork is dynamic and expressive. The series was a critical and commercial success, and it helped to make Spider-Gwen one of the most popular Spider-Man characters. 1. Spider-Man 2099, Volume 1. Introduced the original Spider-Man variant. Peter David and Rick Leonardi's Spider-Man 2099, Volume 1, was the first comic book to introduce a Spider-Man variant from another universe. The series was a critical and commercial success, and it helped to make Spider-Man 2099 one of the most popular Spider-Man characters. Miguel O'Hara is the Spider-Man of the year 2099. He is a brilliant geneticist who is working for the evil mega corporation Alchemax. One day, Miguel is exposed to a genetically enhanced spider, and he gains the same powers as Peter Parker. Miguel O'Hara is a complex and well-developed character. He is a genius, but he is also flawed. He is arrogant and cocky, but he is also brave and compassionate. The Spider-Man 2099 Volume 1 series follows Miguel O'Hara as he learns to use his powers to help others. It is also a story about corporate greed, environmental destruction, and social justice. The series is beautifully illustrated by Rick Leonardi. Leonardi's artwork is dynamic and expressive, and it perfectly captures the tone of the story. To conclude, the Spider-Man comics discussed in this video are all must-reads for any fan of the character. They offer unique and innovative perspectives on the Spider-Man mythos, and they feature some of the most iconic and beloved characters in Marvel Comics. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.